Hey, what's up guys, Arwood here, and today we are going through pre-best in slot items for a hunter. And the reason why I decided to go with the pre-best in slot um, over best in slot is because most of the best in slot items comes from raid, with the exception of the few items. So, once you start raiding and you keep getting these drops from the raid, it will be obvious upgrade and, like your weapons. So those are your pretty much best in slot. We will cover a few of them in this video as well, but mostly we will go over pre-best in slot, so pre-raid best in slot items, and this will also be budgeted version. The reason why I want to show you budgeted version is because some of the items that are really like pre-best in slot are really expensive, and they don't provide that much higher DPS increase. For example, they would give you like 1 or 2 more agility, which once it stacks, it is somewhat meaningful, but you don't need it to clear this raid. This is the most important thing to note, because I was even missing a lot of the items. I wasn't even like fully pre-BiS when I cleared the raid the first time. I cleared it twice so far, and it wasn't really an issue to clear it even without the pre-BiS. So I would recommend you to save some gold. Most of the raids are not requiring you to have the pre-BiS in every single piece of slot, but it's for those that are really affordable and that are quite easy to get, you should have them so that you can still do some quite decent damage in the raids. Okay, so first of all, we're gonna start with helm. For Alliance, there is no really good option. There is actually no option for the helms. The only helm that is available is Humbert's helm, which is actually only available to Horde. And the way you get this is by killing the dwarves in South Shore, I believe, or Hillsbred Foothills. And it is a kind of a low drop chance, but yeah, only Horde can kill dwarves. So the only way for Alliance to actually get this is through cross-faction auction house. I checked cross-faction auction house like 3 or 4 times for this item. It was never there, so I would assume that players are not really farming it for gold. It's mainly being farmed to keep it for the raid, or not being farmed at all, because again, you don't really need any pieces of gear in helm in helm slot in order to clear the raid. So we're gonna unequip this one. For the neck, you have Sentinel's Medallion as your best option. It's actually your best in slot. However, you need to be honored with Silverwing Sentinels. And this is PvP faction, so you actually have to do PvP. For those of you that do not want to do PvP, there aren't really any great option that will be meaningful to your DPS. And also, both times I cleared the raid, I did not have any neck equipped, so don't worry about that one as well. Okay, the next one, Mantle of Thieves. Mantle of Thieves is your definitely best in slot item. However, it is a bit hard to get. It is a drop from the trash in Reserve and Crawl, but Reserve and Crawl is 29 to 38 level dungeon or something like that. So most of the people are not doing it. You will have hard time trying to find a group to clear Reserve and Crawl, because again, it's a dungeon that no one is doing right now because the cap is at 25. So only the most like hardcore dedicated players will actually go in there to clear it. But yeah, this would be your best in slot item. Next item that is pre-BiS is Dark Leather Shoulders, that gives you 7 agility, and it is made by leather workers. I'm not quite sure what is the price right now that you can buy this from on the auction house. However, I did not decide to go with this option. I actually just got the Feline Mantle from Shadowfang Keep. It is 57% drop chance. It doesn't give you that much boost of damage, it only gives you 2 agility, but it gives you nice intellect boost for that mana pool. Again, this is not a really great item, and you should not take it over your cloth wearers, your caster DPS guys, but in my dungeon no one needed this one, so I took it, and this is the actual cloth shoulders that I wore for both of my BFD clears. Okay, there are some other items that you can pick, but I don't think that they are, um, really worth farming for. So yeah, Felin Mantle is easy to snatch. Definitely not one of your best items, but it's good enough for the raid until you can get, maybe a group for Razorfen Crawl, or until you can get enough gold to buy your dark leather shoulders. Okay, for the back, this one is actually really not that hard to get. Your Preious is Cape of the Brotherhood. It drops from the last boss in Deadmines, Edwin Van Cleef, with 23% drop chance. So this one should be pretty easy to get. You can just find a group, you can do it with 23% chance to drop effectively after 5 dungeons. Just make sure that no one else in your party needs it, or these 5 dungeons may as well turn into 10 or 15. Next previous chest item is Tunic of Westfall. This is super easy to get. This is one of the first things that you can get is your previous. It is a quest item that you will be getting anyway if you are going to run the Deadmines. You just pick up the Defiance Brotherhood, you complete all these chain quests. I recommend that you pick up all the Deadmines quests, if nothing then just for gold, and one of them will reward you with Tunic of Westfall. So yeah, pretty easy to get, probably the easiest previous item that you can get. Just clear the Deadmine with the quest, and once you turn in the quest, you will have the option to pick up the Tunic of Westfall, which gives you 11 agility, which is pretty insane at this level. For the bracers, there are actually 2 options. Unfortunately for me, I was not able to get any of those, so my bracers looks like 2 stamina, 2 spirit, or something like that. However, they are not really hard to farm, but they are pretty annoying to go for. And why is that? It's just because the way you farm these is just tedious. So your second previous one is Mad Wolf Bracers. Um, they give you 5 agility and 2 stamina, and they drop from Duskwood, from Nightbane, Wildfang. I've killed 100 of these so far and I haven't seen a single drop. However, I did see some other greens drop that can give you a few golds if you can sell them on the auction house. So you would just go there and farm Nightbane Wildfangs. This is not the worst farm for hunters because you have pet. These are, however, level 29 and 30. So 4 to 5 levels above you, so they may be challenging to kill for anyone that's not a hunter, but for hunters, if you pull one at a time and you use your Beast Mastery rune, you should have no issues killing these one at a time. The other one that has 55% job chance, that has pretty much the same value as Mad Wolf Bracers, are Jurassic Wrist Guards. They give you 5 agility and 2 strength, so a little bit stronger for the hunters that are going to melee weave in. But this is not something that's required or expected from you in BFD raid because it's a simple raid. These have 55% chance to drop, so theoretically you would get these easier. However, they only drop from one single rare, Razor Matriarch, and this rare is you can find it in one cave in wetlands, and it is surrounded by many other raptors. So this is the cave where you can find it, and it is surrounded by other Razormaw raptors. Those raptors are level 27 to 29, and you have to kill at least 10 to 15, maybe like 5 to 10 before you can get into the cave. Again, not something that's hard for Hunter, but for anyone else, this would be challenging. Once you are inside the cave, these are the places where this rare can spawn. I went into this cave like 3 to 4 times, stayed like 30 minutes, and it did not spawn. So I assume that it is a bit longer respawn timer on this mob. So yeah, it's actually harder to find the mob than actually for the wrists to drop. Again, I don't have anything good in this wrist slot, but these would be your best options that you can go for right now. I will be on farm for Nightbale Wildfang just because it's easy farm, so I'll be probably going for Mad Wolf Bracers and try to get those. For weapon, one of the really sick weapons that you can get is Impaling Harpoon. It gives you 7 agility, which is huge, and it drops in Dead Mines from Captain Greenskin. This is the green goblin that you have to kill before engaging into a fight with Edwin Van Cleef. It is 28% drop chance, so while you're farming for Cape of Brotherhood from Edwin Van Cleef, you will be also farming for Impaling Harpoon. It's easier to get Impaling Harpoon not just because of the drop chance, but because not many other classes, if any, are looking to wield this weapon. 7 agility and not that really great damage per second is not something that any other classes is pretty interested with. So if this drops, you can just roll on it and probably everyone else will pass. Besides that, there is one really strong item that gives you 4 more agility. That's Armor Piercer. But again, it's from Razorfen Crawl, which again, no one is running at the time. I was trying to make a group and no one was pretty interested to do Razorfen Crawl. So only for those, most hardcore, most sweatiest player will go for Armor Piercer. So until the raid, I would just go for Impaling Harpoon. It's easy to get and it's really strong. For gloves, you have few different options. Actually, your best in slot gloves are from leatherworking. So Pilferer's gloves gives you 8 agility, toughened leather gloves gives you 6 agility and some other stats. And of course, wolf gloves also give you 6 agility and a lot of stamina, but they are from Razorf and Crawl, which again, same issue as with other items. So if you have enough gold, just go for leatherworking gloves. So one of these. Pilferer gloves are absolutely the best for the raid because it provides you the most agility. But if you don't have the gold, you don't want to spend the gold, you can actually run Wailing Caverns. Wailing Caverns have these gloves, Serpent gloves, that I'm actually running right now, that gives you 4 agility. So that's 50% worse than the leatherworking ones, but they were still good enough for me to um, perform at a reasonable level and actually be good at DPS in the raid. They have 20% drop chance, and the good thing about these gloves is that you will be farming Wailing Caverns for other items, so this will just come naturally. You won't have to go into Wailing Caverns just for these one specific gloves. So by the time you have some of your other items, you will also see Serpent gloves drop. So I would just go for those. They are easy to get. They won't take you that much time, and you won't be spending that much gold. Then for belt, I would go with dark leather belt, for agility, for stamina. It's from leatherworking and it was less than a gold on my server. It was like 70 silver or something for 4 agility, 4 stamina belt. Of course, you can go for some other options like belt of indication, that is a drop from the stockade, but it provides the same amount of agility. However, you can go with deviate scale belt, which gives you 5 agility and a lot of stamina. This would be more important for PvP because you have 2 more stamina than on dark leather belt. And from the DPS perspective, it is only 1 more agility and the cost difference is huge. I believe this was like over 10-15 gold on my server, and the other item that has only 1 less agility was less than a gold. So there is no real reason to spend that much gold on Deviate Scale Belt, unless you can afford it, of course. For leggings, your absolutely best leggings that you can get is Leggings of the Fang. Of course, they are Trollbane leggings, but you won't be getting these ones unless you can find them on the auction house, of course. And they will be really expensive. 14 agility is just something that you can't match, but they are just a random drop that I only see few people getting, and if they're on the auction house, I can only imagine how expensive it would be. So for your pre-BiS budget, you can just go with the leggings of the Fang. They drop in Wailing Caverns again, and as I mentioned, you are farming Wailing Caverns, for example, for the gloves, so you can just get these ones naturally as well. They are really good, and there is no reason why you shouldn't get these. And Wailing Caverns is also like super easy dungeon to complete. You can start doing it at like level 19, 20 or something like that. So you can even get these while leveling. For the boots, I went with Ambassador's boots because they are quest reward from the Stockade. Stockade is dungeon that you can run at, I think, at level 24 or so. However, mobs in there are a little bit bigger level, like 27, 28, and depending on what mobs were and what bosses you're attacking. But Stockade is one of the most simple dungeons that you can run besides that mine. So you should not have any issues getting Ambassador's boots. Just make sure that you have Crime and Punishment quest. So once you are done with the dungeon, you can turn this in and get your 4 agility and 4 stamina boots. Besides this, you can also get agile boots that gives you actually more agility, 5 agility from a vendor. However, this will require you to travel a bit between Loch Modan and Westfall, because there are only two vendors that sell these. As you can see, there is the Fast Profiteer in Westfall, and there is Cat Samson in Loch Modan. Um, I actually wouldn't bother going for those. If you are in the area, you may as well check them, but just going there, they probably won't be, that much of a meaningful increase of your DPS for just one agility for you to spend time running to these vendors. When you will get ambassador boots by just doing the stockades. So I would go for ambassador boots, but again, you can get agile boots fairly easily. It will just take some time. Okay. Besides that, for the rings, the one that you should absolutely get is Seal of Rin. Seal of Rin is a quest reward from the quest chain that starts with, um, infiltrating the castle, I believe, is the first quest in that quest chain. However, in order to get to that quest, you actually need to complete some of the quests in the stockade. So I would get all the quests that you can for the Stoneridge Stockade. I would run Stoneridge Stockade so you can get the quest reward for the boots, Ambassador's boots, and then you will unlock the quest chain for the Seal of Rin. Seal of Rin is your definitely one of the stronger rings that gives you a bunch of different stats: 3 agility, 4 stamina, 4 intellect, and so on. Um, Besides that, the other best ring that you can get is Monkey Ring, which gives you 6 agility, so twice as much as Seal of Rin. However, it is again from Razorfen Crawl, so if you can get the groove for Razorfen, then great. If not, I would just get Seal of Rin. The other item that is really good ring is Protector's Band, but it requires you to PvP. So if you're not someone who likes PvP, if you do not want to get honored with Silver Ring Sentinels, I would just get Seal of Rin, and for other ring, I would honestly got whatever. You can get Defias Renegade ring from the Stormwind Stockade. Again, you will have to do Stormwind Stockade for the boots, you would do Stormwind Stockade for Seal of Rin, so at that time you may even see Defias Renegade ring dropping from trash. So, and they will most likely drop from trash. So if you're lucky no one else gets them, this would be your second ring in my opinion. That is like really budget pre-BiS item that's easy to get, and you're already doing that dungeon, so it's not like you will have to dedicate the time specifically for this one ring. Besides that, I mean, there are no other really good rings that will be easy for you to get. I used like one stamina 3 spirit ring on both of my clears, so yeah, I would just recommend to get Seal of Rin. It's really nice item to have, but I wouldn't bother, if you cannot get the Defias Renegade ring, I would not really spend a lot of time farming it. And then the last item, your weapon. It's again something that's super easy to get. It's Raptor's End from Wetlands, and it is Ormer's Revenge quest. This is the quest in the wetlands where you have to kill a bunch of raptors. So this is a chain quest. First you will have to kill different raptors that are around level 25, I believe, to 27. They are a bit of outside of this area. Then once you turn it in, you will get the second quest that you have to kill raptors inside of this Velgar's excavation site. They are between level 27 to 29, you know, those green ones and blue raptors. And once you complete that quest and turn it in, he will give you final quest to kill that Sarltooth, which is a raptor that's usually standing on top of that hill. He is level 29, but really not that hard to kill. There is nothing special about him except his level. So for any hunter, this should be a walk in the park, especially if you have Beast Mastery rune. Once you kill it and loot his talon, you can go back to the armor and he will give you this sweet, sweet bow that has 12.1 damage per second. It's at a nice speed. It's not like the slowest. Well, it's one of the slower weapons in the game, which I actually prefer over the fast weapons because you spend less ammunition. When I use any ranged weapon that has like 1.9 attack speed, I just feel like that I spend too many arrows that you cannot have enough in the bags, honestly. So it's really nice that it's a slower weapon, and it's actually way better than where is it? Venom Strike. Venom Strike is a really decent bow that drops from Wailing Caverns again. So if you can get Venom Strike while you're farming for other pieces of loot from Wailing Caverns, I would use this one. And then I would just use it to complete the quest to get Raptor's End, and that's pretty much it. Um, you can also get lucky to get Steel Arrow Crossbow. However, I wouldn't bother with it because it drops from Dark Iron Rifleman and it's 2% drop, and these are like 28, 29 elite dwarves in wetlands. So I wouldn't spend time uh, farming just for this bow. Now, if you're farming them for something else, like those ordinances that they drop or any other thing that you may be doing, maybe completing the quest, then any drops, then yeah, sure, pick it up. But I wouldn't necessarily just farm for this crossbow because that is just a waste of time, and you can get this bow from a quest, and in my opinion, it's even better. Then everything else is just from the raid. All right, and that would be all. Again, these were only budgeted pre-BiS version of the items that I feel like are the most impactful and that most of the players are actually be looking for, because a lot of players will not have the time to farm for the gold to get the most expensive bind on equip items, and every one of these is fairly easy to get through a low level dungeon or through completing the quest. Thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Bye!